My name is Arnie Webb. I'm a former resident of Negishi Heights, and welcome to Negishi Navy Housing Area. I'm standing right in the middle of Racetrack Road. This is an emotional moment for me. My family and I lived right across the street from here in that house with the big cherry tree. Anyway, over the next 17 minutes, we'll show you a bit about the history of Negishi housing, how it began, and why families of service members and civilians who live there love the advantages of the community and wouldn't want to live elsewhere. Additionally, up front, contrary to false rumors, Negishi housing is not going to go away anytime soon, not for at least 10 to 15 years, or maybe even longer. I will show you the community, bring you what the residents of the community say about living here, and demonstrate to you the pros and cons of living in Negishi so you and your family can make well-informed decisions about where you want to live. I am standing now in the middle of Negishi Racetrack Park, just behind the all-hands dining room, which is right over there from the Negishi Heights Naval Housing Area. The community centers there, the swimming pool, and the local administrative offices of the U.S. Navy, including base security and Naval Criminal Investigative Service. As I walked around Negishi and spoke with local residents today, I marveled at the idyllic American life that families who live in the Negishi Heights housing enclave enjoy. Current and retired former Negishi residents and family members tell us why they and their families love Negishi Heights Naval Housing.
And if I could sum it up in one word, living in Negishi, it's tranquil. You know, it's quiet. You know, when you go home, you close the door, sit down and read the paper, it's quiet, and we like it. So we're very lucky, very fortunate to be able to live here this time, I think.
The square footage here is huge compared to a lot of the very tiny areas that you will have in some of the spots in Ikego or Yokosuka. Square footage is just an amazing amount of square footage. Beautiful lawns. Kind of keep in mind that you're going to have more space for your kids to run. You'll have more space for your pets to run. On the website they do call it small town America, and it really does have that feel. So it's a little bit different than some of the condominium units that you will see in Ikego and Yokosuka.
The services that you might seek on Yokosuka base, we offer here. It just seems to be easily accessible to you here, right? Even if you're just calling for information, if you call one number, right, you can pretty much get any information that you need. If you come to the community support complex, you could get anything you need. If you want to rent a table, right, for a barbecue in your backyard at home, right, you can come to our office, you know, and rent that, and we'll deliver for you, right? If you compare that to Yokosuka base, probably the same service will be offered, but, you know, it's a little bit more difficult for you to get it. It's just so easy for you here because we're not too far away from your front door, right? And, you know, this is a small community.
Well, we have tons of facilities. I mean, we've got almost all the same facilities that you'd have at Yokosuka. Everything from a weight room to a swimming pool. We have basketball courts, tennis courts. We have a combined bachelor's quarters, bowling alley, bank, Navy Exchange, commissary. I mean, the list goes on.
Just, I like everything about it. They got the park. It's at Shinrin Park right there. You can go right through there. Walk the dogs. I've got my 2 dogs there, and it's great. You can't get the size of the yard, the size of the house, the belonging, the family, the everything about the base, the friendliness in Yokosuka or in Ikego when you're living in a tower. It's everybody's. I mean, you grill, you barbecue. You just open your barbecue pit, invite the neighbors over. You all come over and grill, and it's a great thing to do on the weekends. I love it out there.
And I find that the quality of life in Negishi is as good as it ever was. There are some things that I remember from my childhood. I was 9 years old when I first came here. One of those is Halloween, and the base is still very good about opening up and allowing all the children to come in. And the years that I've lived here as an adult, I've always enjoyed that because it really does integrate, I think, the Japanese community with the American community, a great tradition about the Halloween festival. So,
Commander Brown went on to say that he and his wife are avid walkers and that right outside the gate of Negishi, you are within a 30-minute walk of just about every interesting place that Yokohama has to offer. The Motomachi and Hanmoku shopping areas, Chinatown, the Yamate Bluff, the old foreigner settlement in Yokohama with well-kept residences. A current and former resident of Negishi tells us about the security of Negishi Heights Naval Housing.
Post 9/11, I was a security officer for Region Mid-Atlantic. Had about 1,500 people working in the field, 9 different naval stations I was responsible for. And I know a little bit about security, having done that job right after terrible terrorist acts there of 9/11. So here, you know, I feel very comfortable. The family's very comfortable. Again, it's like a gated community. And of course, the people that have access and have a reason to be here, you get right onto the base. If you don't have access, if you don't have a reason to be here, then you may have to go through a few extra steps to gain that access, but it's worth it. The security we have is a big benefit to living here as well.
Since 95% of the families who live in Negishi Heights Naval Base housing have a member of the household who works on a ship or in an office on Yokosuka Naval Base, it seems appropriate to address the distance and methods of transportation to Yokosuka from Negishi and back. Current and former residents of Negishi give their comments about it.
It's a bit of a drive, 40, 45 minutes on 16 on a good day, 30 minutes or less on the toll roads most days. But, you know, I'm 90 minutes from the airport. If I want to drive to Narita and take a vacation in Thailand, I can drop my truck off at a parking station there in Narita. I'm 90 minutes from that airport. I get back to the airport, they meet me at the door with my truck and keys, we get in, we drive home, we're 90 minutes, we're back home. No buses, no hassle, no fuss, easy. 45 minutes from you. Atsugi, you know.
There is a bit of a commute going into Yokosuka, but it's not any more appreciable than it is in certain areas of San Diego. For example, the traffic in San Diego would keep you at about a 20-minute to a half-an-hour commute, and it can be very similar here. The best things about living in Negishi is that we're so close to Yokohama.
The drive's not too bad at all. When we do drive, we can listen to music and look around, or gives us plenty of chat time without our son right there in our ears all the time, and it's not bad at all. I would definitely deal with the 45-minute drive.
Definitely, there's 2 different ways you can avoid the traffic coming home. Actually 3. The home to work bus, which is a free service provided by CFA. There's also public transportation, which is definitely no hassle. And then there's also the tollway if you're in a hurry or you just don't want to, if you just want to get there and you want to get there quick. And the tollway is totally without any kind of traffic whatsoever. And you can get to and from Yokosuka and Negishi in about 30 minutes.